News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Right now in the afternoon edition, the fare gates were just opened. The issue giving thousands of Bay Area commuters a free morning ride today. Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann. The Clipper card system used by multiple Bay Area transit agencies has been down for hours now. The Metropolitan Transportation System, which runs Clipper, says they are working on a fix. Our Veronica Macias talked to people at the Embarcadero BART station who got a free ride.
With fares keeping things moving for BART, on this Tuesday morning, the Clipper cards not working could be considered a financial hit for the agency that keeps increasing its prices to keep up with inflation.
I just wanted to make sure everything was straight. I didn't want to...
We found some very honest riders on this Tuesday morning who wanted to make sure it wasn't just their Clipper card not working before walking through those fare gates. BART releasing a statement saying, quote, "This is not related to our fare gates, and we understand work is being done to resolve the issue as quickly as possible." It might be a tough pill to swallow, though, for the Bay Area Rapid Transit Agency, given that they've implemented fare increases at the beginning of the year and will continue to do so to keep up with inflation. While riders definitely appreciated the free ride on this Tuesday morning, riders say they're willing to pay more in fares rather than cutting any service.
Probably raise the fares again. I mean, it's a system that needs money, but, they put the new fare gates in, which cost a lot of money, and we'll see what happens with that.
Again, this is impacting all Bay Area transit agencies that accept Clipper for payment. That includes BART, Muni, Caltrain, VTA, AC Transit. A representative for MTC says the Clipper contractor is investigating. We reached out to the different transit agencies to ask how much money was lost since they couldn't collect fares through Clipper. We are now waiting for their response. This all comes on the same day fares are going up on many transit systems, including Muni, starting today. Clipper and Muni mobile users will pay $2.85 per ride. That's up 10 cents. Seniors and low-income riders will see a 5-cent bump to $1.40. Monthly passes go up $1, and cable car rides jump to $9. Also starting today, Caltrain is raising its base fare by 25 cents. The railway is staring down a $75 million deficit over the next decade. The agency warns that without new funding, it may have to cut service, close stations, or trim costs. And for those who ride the San Francisco Bay Ferry, your fares will cost 3% more. That is an extra 25 cents for most trips. It is part of the annual fare increase plan approved by the Ferry Board in 2023. Developing story on Capitol Hill, the U.S. Senate just passed President Trump's budget bill in a 51-50 vote, but the bill faces another vote and a hurdle in the U.S. House. Natalie Brand has the details from the White House.
The vice president votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Vice President J.D. Vance delivered the tie-breaking vote to pass the massive GOP budget bill.
This is a historic direction that we're moving for President Trump and the American people that elected us to run the government in a different direction.
All Democratic senators opposed the measure, joined by Republicans Tom Tillis, Rand Paul, and Susan Collins. But Lisa Murkowski of Alaska ultimately voted to support the legislation.
This bill will lead to a much greater deficit over time, and I don't believe it's fiscally responsible.
The passage followed a more than 24-hour vote-a-rama on amendments and tense overnight session.
President Trump is still pushing to have the bill on his desk by July 4th, but acknowledged it could be difficult. And he's also cautioning lawmakers against trimming too much from the final version.
We're going to have to see the final version. I don't want to go too crazy with cuts. I don't like cuts. There are certain things that have been cut, which is good. I think we're doing well. We're going to have to see. It's very complicated stuff. Great enthusiasm, as you know.
The bill, which extends the 2017 Trump tax cuts and eliminates federal taxes on tips and overtime pay, increases money for defense and immigration enforcement. But it cuts Medicaid spending, and the Congressional Budget Office estimates it could increase the deficit by nearly $3.3 trillion. That's significantly more than the House version, threatening the support of conservative hardliners there. One group posting on social media, "That's not fiscal responsibility. That's not what we agreed to."
I have prevailed upon my Senate colleagues to please get as close to the House product as possible.
The House will be back in session soon to consider the changes the Senate made to the bill.
In a statement, California Senator Alex Padilla said, quote, Senate Republicans just voted to let President Trump and his billionaire buddies steal from working families in order to cut their own taxes by trillions of dollars. Governor Newsom says the Senate bill would hurt California during wildfire season. Speaking at a news conference at Cal Fire, he said it contained cuts to the Forest Service and weather forecasting.
We're putting people's lives and property at risk. The President of the United States needs to do more to back up his rhetoric with investments and resources, to roll back the cuts at the U.S. Forest Service, to increase the pay of our firefighters and support teams, and to reconcile the fact that these partnerships include the critical weather monitoring, the critical work that NOAA does.
Newsom says he sent President Trump a letter and a pre-written executive order asking for money for wildfire prevention, and said he asked him to recall the thousands of National Guard troops in Los Angeles, saying they could be working on wildfire prevention. And a wildfire warning from officials in Santa Clara County leading to the 4th of July. They say a single spark from an illegal firework could start a house or wildfire. All fireworks are illegal in Santa Clara County. Dr. Clifford Schechter works at the Burn Center at Valley Medical Center. He says even fireworks labeled safe and sane can cause severe damage and injuries.
Every year, sparklers end up being one of our main causes of injury. Seemingly like a safe and childish like firework, sparklers set clothing on fire. There is no child who can safely manage a sparkler. All it takes is just resting it down at your side for a couple seconds and your child is on fire.
The Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office says if you're caught with illegal fireworks, you could face a citation or even be arrested for a felony. Okay, first alert weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside, and it's all about Bay Area microclimates, including right here by the Golden Gate Bridge. I guess the top has been chopped off, but you can see kind of the base. Here's meteorologist Jessica Birch. Hey, Jess.
Yeah, it's just the Golden Gate, not the bridge, or it's just the bridge, not the Golden Gate. Here's what's happening for us, though, in those microclimates. I want to start off with what's happening this afternoon, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about that 4th of July forecast, because it's right around the corner, and we're gearing up for a beautiful day ahead of us for the 4th. However, we take a look at our microclimates today. We have low 60s in the forecast from Half Moon Bay all the way over into San Francisco. The more south you go along 101, we warm up fast into the 80s from Redwood City all the way into San Jose. But from the coast all the way off into our inland areas, we're still seeing that 30-degree temperature spread. From Half Moon Bay over into Antioch, today we're warming up into the 90s over there. We have 70s throughout wine country today and all throughout the North Bay, with a whole bunch of 80s trickled in there as we head our way south all the way into the Santa Clara Valley. The thing is, now we're starting to see those clouds pull back along the coast. You saw it right there with that Golden Gate Bridge look. It's still going to be very foggy and cool and cloudy along the coast into the evening hours tonight. Into the overnight hours tonight, we're actually going to see the bay fill with fog once again. That's how we're going to wake up tomorrow morning. It's stretching all the way into Sacramento and then pulling back tomorrow afternoon just along the coast, just like what we saw today. And we can also see some light drizzle in the forecast, too, in those early morning hours. But before we even get there, let's take a look at this afternoon. From now until around 5 o'clock tonight, we can see gusts up to around 20 to 25 miles per hour, anywhere from Fairfield over into Napa, San Francisco included. I'll have more on that 4th of July forecast coming up in just a bit. But for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Jess. Starting today, new laws kick in across California. Here's what changes when it comes to your money and how you shop. Subscription services must now offer easy cancellation with a simple click to cancel button. Airbnb and other short-term rentals must list cleaning fees up front. Pet insurers must clearly explain premium hikes and coverage limits, and online marketplaces have to report sellers who may be selling stolen goods to law enforcement. Minimum wages go up in parts of the Bay Area also today. That includes Alameda, Berkeley, San Francisco, Fremont, Milpitas, and Emeryville, which now close to $20 an hour in minimum wage. Sonoma County gets a living wage increase. These are for some of the county government's lowest paid employees and companies under contract with the county. Those wages go up to $23.15 per hour. That's up from $18.10. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. President Trump inspects the site dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. What we're learning about the controversial site meant to hold undocumented immigrants. And here at home, why the future of more than 100 Bay Area mom and pop food businesses are now at risk. Well, President Trump went to Florida today to inspect the site of a controversial new migrant detention center dubbed Alligator Alcatraz. It's being built to hold undocumented immigrants in the middle of the Everglades. Officials say it could house up to 5,000 detainees at a cost of $450 million. The facility is surrounded by dangerous wildlife, oppressive heat, and it raises alarms with immigration advocates over due process concerns. Check out Wall Street right now. Here's a live look at the big board. And right now you can see the Dow is trending in positive territory. It's up 410 points this afternoon. We should note Tesla stock has been suffering as CEO Elon Musk spars once again with President Trump over the spending bill. Musk writing that the bill would, quote, destroy millions of jobs in America. And the future of more than 100 mom and pop food businesses now at risk. The Commissary Kitchen in the East Bay, where they prep their meals, is closing its doors today. The kitchen launched 6 years ago, and despite its success, budget woes finally caught up to its ability to operate.
The tacos for today, we're making barbacoa, beef barbacoa tacos.
In a kitchen full of flavor, for Gracia and her husband Antonio, today's cook and prep was bittersweet.
And we're just like so depressed.
The sadness comes from this letter they received a month ago, that the Alameda County Deputy Sheriff's Activities League Community Kitchen in San Leandro was closing down on July 1st. A commissary kitchen since 2019 that had served as a launchpad for dozens of businesses, offering space, support, and resources for entrepreneurs like Gracia, who opened her catering and meal prep business L'Amour 3 years ago.
This place gave us a chance to not only start our businesses, but also like grow, reach more people, and just create a great solid foundation.
But the foundation of the community kitchen eventually began to crumble under the weight of financial and budget constraints, where for the past 3 years the kitchen was losing $20,000 a month with a balloon payment on an $800,000 loan due in 2027. The board decided it was, quote, unsustainable for us to continue operating the kitchen. For Chef Mickey Bunong, who also launched his healthy meal prep business Alab inside the kitchen,
I'm grateful for this space.
He has now had to trade in his chef's hat.
Whatever the 3 months.
And work as the kitchen manager.
Pre, ready to go? Oh man.
Helping the more than 100 current businesses pack up and find a new commissary kitchen where they can survive.
60 to 70% are gonna continue with their businesses. I would say 10% would be, gonna be closing doors or ceasing operations, and probably 20% would be the unknown yet. We don't know yet what they're gonna do.
For Gracia and Antonio, closing the doors on their business is not an option.
We cannot afford that because this is what my family lives on.
They found a new kitchen in Oakland to continue cooking, hoping the change will be a recipe for success.
And the Deputy Sheriff's Activities League is now looking to Alameda County to help them with the outstanding loan. The county voted to provide funds for those small businesses to help them transition to a new commissary kitchen. Their hope is to eventually reopen the community kitchen in San Leandro. Looking live at Oracle Park, where the Giants are away, the stadium is hosting some pretty big concerts tonight. Oh, tonight, Post Malone. Of course, Post Malone, mostly known for his hip-hop music, but this time he's bringing the country vibe to his stadium tour with special guest Jelly Roll. Gates open at 5, music starts around 5:45. And yesterday, Latin superstar Shakira rocked the stage at Oracle Park before the concert. Lines of fans wrapped around the ballpark. Fans without tickets opted to listen to the show across McCovey Cove at China Basin Park. Probably a great show there. Okay, back to our first alert weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside in San Jose, where it's much warmer than it is here in San Francisco. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch. And Jess, I mean, it's strange. In San Francisco, it's in the 60s, and you can go all the way to Antioch, and it's like a 30-degree difference.
I know. It's been wild. Yesterday, I was driving in San Francisco, and I was up on a higher hill, and I was able to make out Oakland just over the Bay Water. It was wild to see how sunny and warm Oakland was and how cool and even chilly where I was at in San Francisco was. And it's true, all of our microclimates are doing something different. That's the case again today with low 60s in SF, lower 70s in Oakland, but we continue to heat up fast the more east we go. Antioch today is in the 90s. Our inland areas up in the North Bay are in the 70s. And if you live in the Santa Clara Valley, more likely than not, you're probably sitting in the 80s throughout this afternoon, regardless if you're along the foothills or all the way down into the valley itself. Now, we're also seeing sunny skies widespread throughout all those inland areas I just mentioned, but into the overnight hours tonight, that fog fills the bay once again. We're going to wake up to that tomorrow. It actually makes its way all the way throughout the Delta, pushing into the Sacramento Valley. But just like clockwork, it starts to pull back along the shoreline into the afternoon hours tomorrow. We'll see a repeat of that throughout the next couple days. Now, at the same time, we're also gearing up for some light winds in the morning hours, but gustier conditions into the afternoon. Kind of like what we're dealing with right now. 20-mile-per-hour winds anywhere from San Francisco up into Napa. Gustier conditions all the way over into Fairfield throughout this afternoon. We take a quick look at the next 7 days. This is what we're gearing up for. We have the Bay forecast just below me. We have 60s and 70s kind of flirting back and forth with each other as we head into this weekend's forecast. And for 4th of July, we're gearing up for 60s. Partly cloudy skies, which means that 4th of July forecast could potentially be a little bit foggier for our friends along the coast. We'll keep a close eye on that. But for our friends all the way over to our inland spots, we're gearing up for beautiful sunshine, warm conditions. Temperatures also starting to actually dip down a little bit. Right now, we're sitting mostly in the 80s. We'll see more 70s return into the forecast heading into Friday. For now, we'll be right back.
Well, NBA free agency is underway, and while the Warriors were not busy adding any players on day one, they did lose a mainstay in their rotation, one of their longest tenured players and a 3-time NBA Finals champion. After a decade, center Kevon Looney is departing the Bay after reportedly signing a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Pelicans. Loon was Golden State's first-round pick in 2015, played a huge role in that 2022 title, in fact, won 3 titles, and was a fan favorite in Dub Nation. And meanwhile, the Golden State Valkyries just waived Julie Van Loo. She had just won a gold medal with Team Belgium in the recent Euro basketball tournament. Van Loo played in 9 games and averaged close to 5 points a game. The team is welcoming back more players, though, from overseas. Coming up, how you can add a little fun the next time you mail a letter, the animated character getting its own postage stamp. Making waves at the post office, the U.S. Postal Service is hoping to make a splash with its latest stamp collection, featuring none other than your favorite pineapple dweller under the sea. Beloved characters from Nickelodeon's hit animated series SpongeBob SquarePants are now part of the Postal Service's newest stamp designs. There you go. Each stamp showcases SpongeBob or one of his iconic friends from Bikini Bottom. These stamps hit post offices nationwide starting on August 1st. That's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. I'll see you in our next newscast at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.